Welcome to DataWise Discovery channel. Today we are going to see about ModelApi and FormApi. Okay, so I think this video is gonna be the two-part videos. Okay, so in the first we'll learn about what is FormApi. Okay, so and in the next video we'll discuss about the ModelApi. Okay, so first of all, what I'll do is directly go inside this Django CSS, and from this what I'm going to do is create a new folder over here. Okay, so I'm going to name it as self form API. Okay, so I'm going to name it like this. You can name whatever you want. So from here what I'm going to do is show more options, and from this I'm going to open the VS Code. Okay, so after that what you need to do is go over here and just create a project. Okay, so in order to create project, we have already seen this. Okay, so multiple times we have already seen this one. So in order to do that, we need to write this Django admin start project, and let's say name of my project is going to be project now. Okay, so I'll go inside this project, cd project. Okay, so I'm going to go inside this project, cd project, and from here I'm going to do ls python manage.py, and I'm going to do run server. Okay, so if I'm going to hit not python manage.py, I'm going to do start app and the name of my app. Then what I'm going to do is inside this project I'm going to go into settings.py. Okay, so inside the settings.py you need to go inside this installed apps, and in this installed apps what you need to do is give the name of the app, that's app. Okay, so after that what you need to do is just to migrate. Okay, so after that what you need to do is python manage.py. I'm going to do a little bit zoom, manage.py, and then migrate. Okay, so my migration is complete. Okay, so after this you need to do some changes in this settings.py. We have already seen over here. What we will do is we'll just write media root. Okay, so base directory, and the name is going to be media. Okay, so the media URL is going to be media itself. Okay, so we have already seen this in our previous video also, so these things must be quite familiar to you by now. Okay, so after that what you need to do is we will use the bootstrap code. Okay, so first of all what we need to do is go inside this app, and inside this app you will see something known as views.py, and in views.py you need to create a class function based views over here. So we'll do request, and over here I'm just going to render. So for now where I'm just going to render first is request. I'm going to make home.html. Okay, so I need to provide the name, so I'm just providing it as home.html. We'll create this template. Okay, so and over here we're not going to pass anything right now. So inside this app I'm going to create a folder, so it is going to be just, let's say, templates. Okay, inside this templates I'm going to make one HTML file and I'll name it as home.html. And inside this home.html I'll click shift 1 and hit enter, then I'll get this one. Okay, so over here what I'm going to do is I'll just do h1. Let's say this is from home. So after writing all this code in my this thing, okay, so what you need to do now is you have already created this template home.html file. Okay, so after that what you need to do is go over here, and inside over here what you need to do is type bootstrap. Okay, so after that what you need to do is go to the downloads, and over here you will get the link. Okay, so I'll copy this link from here, cdn via js deliver. Okay, so after this what I'm going to do is go over here and just paste that code. Okay, so this much is okay. Now if I want to run this program, what I need to do is I need to give the URL. So for the URL I'm just going to go over here, and over here you need to change some settings. So for that what you need to do is from django.conf.con we'll do import settings, and below over here from django.conf.urls.static, from this we will import static. Okay, so after that go inside this static, and in the line number 19 you copy this line of code. Okay, so just copy it from there and just to bring it over here and just paste it. Okay, so you have pasted this one also. So for now what you need to do is path, you will not write anything inside this one, and the next thing is going to be include, and the name of the app is app.urls. Okay, so you need to import that include also. So over here you need to do just right include over here. Okay, so now again go inside the app, and in the app create a new file. Okay, so the name of the file is going to be urls.py. Okay, so over here what you need to do is from django.urls you need to import path. Okay, so url patterns, and this is going to be path and nothing over here, and you will call this home, but I'm not imported that thing. So over here what you need to do is from dot views import home. Okay, so you have imported the home, and I'm going to provide the name also as home. Okay, so after completing all this thing let me run the server. Okay, so for that type python manage.py run server. Okay, after that click on this one, and over here you will see this is from home page. Okay, so it is correctly working. So up to now this is easy. Okay, so this is super duper easy. So now what we need to do is we need to go into forms.py and do the rest of the code now. Okay, so over here what we have done previously is that we have created the form using bootstrap. Okay, so bootstrap provided us with ready-made mm, ready-made forms, and by copying their code we have created that form. Okay, so but that does not provide the functionalities such as validations and all the rest of the things. Okay, so in order to bring those validations and to make our form more secure, okay, so Django will provide us inbuilt functionalities. Okay, inbuilt functionalities in that model API, form API. Okay, so we'll talk about model API in the next video. Okay, so now I'm going to change this home a little bit. Okay, home in views.py a little bit. So over here what I'm going to do is, let's say I have not created this module. Okay, so but I'm going to import it from dot form. We are going to make something known as student form. Okay, so after that what I'm going to do is, inside this I'm going to write it as form, and the form is going to be student form. Okay, so this much is the thing, and I'm going to do provide it as a form inside this form. Okay, so I'm going to pass this form in my home.html. After that you might be thinking, what is this dot form? Okay, so for to make that thing clear, what you just need to do is, inside this app what you need to provide is form.py. Okay, so inside this form.py you need to write some code, and that code is going to be from Django. You need to just import forms, and a class is going to be student form. Okay, so this is the way how it is written. Okay, so first is the model name, and the second is going to be the form. Okay, so that's going to be forms.form, and inside the form you just write as forms dot character field. Okay, in the models.py you need to provide this max length, but in the forms you need not to provide this max length also over here. Okay, so it is similar like that models dot character field, right? So but it is quite different. Okay, so here is forms and here is char length, and there is no requirement to pass that max length over here. Okay, so the next thing is going to be the forms dot integer field, and the last one is going to be the password, and the password is going to be, for now let's say it is char char field only. Okay, so this looks too much familiar to models.py. Okay, so but we have not provided the max length over here. So now what you need to do is, I don't think we have created a model up to now. Okay, so for this what I'm going to do is, let me just import this. We have already imported this in our views.py. Okay, and we are passing this form in over here. Okay, so in order to show it in more beautiful way, what you need to do is, let me go to the home.html, this h1. Let me make it over here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, let's say div.container. Inside the container we have what is known as row. We have already seen this. Okay, in bootstrap we have already done this one, so we are going to provide the column as name. And let me do this thing later. So I'm going to create a form class. Okay, you should always create this form tag over here. Okay, so I'm going to give the allot as allot primary. Okay, so it is going to look blue, and the action, I'm not going to provide any actions. Okay, so after this I'm going to create the form. Okay, so after that what I'm going to do is just again run my server. For that, python manage.py run server. After this, open your this one. Let me refresh this thing first. So you are getting this beautiful looking form. Okay, so it is not so beautiful. We'll make this thing more beautiful maybe in this video or maybe in the next video. Okay, uh, for now what we need to do is now the user will input their name. Okay, so if they input their name, so they inputted their age and then password also. Okay, so in order to submit put this data into the database, what you need to do is you need that submit button also. Okay, so I'm not providing that submit button right now, so let me provide it first. Submit button also. Okay, so inside the form you also need the csrf token, and below this what you need to do is you need to create a button. So let's say type is going to be the submit. Okay, pmit submit, and let's say from the bootstrap we are going to use class as btn info. Okay, so after that we will say this is my submit button, and if I do click refresh, and we are getting this beautiful looking submit. Okay, so after that what I should do is I have created this one and this one also. Okay, so after that I'll teach you quite a new thing. That new thing is going to be in the form you can provide the labels and the widgets. Okay, so let me show you. So if the label is going to be the full name, okay, let me provide the label as full name. Then here at first there is name. Okay, so if I do refresh now it should come as full name. Okay, so I guess my server is not working again. Okay, control C, let me run that server again. After that I'll go over here is name, and if I do refresh now it is showing me as full name. Okay, so you can also change the attributes of these fields. Okay, so in order to change the attributes of that field, what you can do is provide the widgets. Okay, inside the widgets you always write widgets as forms is fixed over here. Okay, forms dot, and this is going to be the text input. Okay, so inside the text input this thing is going to be the text input, and inside this text input what you are going to provide is the attributes. Okay, so let's say inside this attribute you will pass the value as of dictionary. Okay, so let me provide the placeholder. Okay, so let me do this one. So the placeholder is going to be, let's say, enter your full name. Okay, so after doing this what you will go over here and just to refresh, then you will see enter your full name over here. Okay, so again I'm getting error. I don't know why it is keep on giving me error. So I guess there is no comma. Did I forget the comma? I guess so. So I think here is comma. Okay. Okay, I'm getting serious problem. Widget is equal to forms.placeholder. Let me try to run this server again. Let me see what is the problem. So let me run this server again. So ATTR and S. Okay, so the naming is error. Sorry for that. ATTRS. Now you should get here. Here is full name, and inside this you will get enter your full name over here. Okay, so you are getting enter your full name over here. So I guess this thing is clear. So similarly, what you need to do is, let's say I want to make the field more interesting. Okay, let me go to the bootstrap and go inside this form. Okay, so inside this form, this one looks beautiful. Okay, so we are going to make this like this. Okay, so over here the class is form control. Okay, so you need to provide the class as form control, and you need to pass it through that attrs. Okay, so you need to pass it as a dictionary. So dictionary is nothing but the key value pair. So you need to provide the class, and the class is going to be form control. Okay, so after that I think we are good. So if I do come over here and just to refresh, voila, it is looking more nicer. Okay, so it is looking good over here. And now over here also I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, in is it is going to be, let's say we are not providing that label. Okay, so we are just providing the widget. So the widget will take, first one is forms dot, so this is going to be the number input. Okay, so you need to remember this one, number input. So attrs is attributes is going to be the class. Okay, class, and the second thing that is going to be is form control. Okay, so the next thing is form control. After that, if I do a refresh over here, so we will get this now. Now you can enter your name over here, you can enter age over here. Okay, so but I think we have one error over here. So all that, not over here action. So I think this one is, so let me do control X. I need to provide it in the inside the class. So class is equal to, I'm just going to paste it over here. Okay, so after that if I do refresh, now it should look a bit nicer. Okay, so full name, and I just changed it in form.html. In this form tag I provided the class and allot and allot primary. Okay, so after that we have changed this form.py also. So the last thing is password, so we'll do the same thing for the password also. So we are going to do the widget is equal to form dot password input. Okay, so it is giving me form equal to form control. So it is similar to the other one, but over here it is going to be the password input. Okay, so it is showing me the error over here. So widget is going to be attrs, and I think this is okay, but why it is showing me the error I don't know. Forms dot character field, widget is going to be the forms dot password input, attrs is class form control. That's right, but why it is not showing, why it is showing me this error I don't know. So I have not closed that, I think. So now the problem is gone. Okay, so if I go in my website now, so if I do refresh now, I am getting this beautiful looking full name, age and password. Okay, so I guess up to here it is clear. Okay, so I can also provide this. Let me go over here, form, and inside this over here I can do form dot as ul also. Okay, so ul is on our list. Okay, so if I do this thing, then I will get this dot. Okay, so what we generally do is we'll just make it as form as paragraph tag. Okay, so after that if I do refresh, then we get more space and it looks more nicer. Okay, so up to here we have done this thing. After that, what I am going to do is make one choice field over there. Okay, so in order to create the choice field, what I am going to do is go to forms.py, and in forms.py I'm going to create a field. Okay, so the field is going to be gender field, and inside this is going to be the tuple, and inside the tuple there is on the tuple. So this mail is related to the database. Okay, just remember this thing is really mail. First thing is related to the database, and the second thing is related to what you see in your screen. Okay, then if you have this much female and then female. Okay, so I will explain you this thing in more detail, but bear with me. Okay, so the gender is going to be forms dot choice field. Okay, so in the choice field it will take the first thing as the choices. Okay, the choices is going to be come from a gender field, and the widgets, the attributes that we want to change of this is, it will always take forms dot, and there is something known as radio select. Okay, so there is something known as a radio select, and if I don't provide here, let's say over here, let's say if and the, let me do after this thing and I'll show you the later. So now if I do refresh now, so I'll get this gender. Okay, so if I do now gender, and if I do click over here, okay, so I need to click over here, so it is showing me male. Okay, so this showing part is from this one. Okay, so if I do AALE, okay, so and if I do refresh now, it will show you MAALE male. Okay, so but when I click this submit, the value that will be passed is this one. Okay, so whatever I write over here will be passed in my database. Okay, so that's the thing. I hope now this thing is clear. Okay, so after that, this is from, you can select from only two places. Okay, you can now select this male or female, but if you want to create a attribute where you can select the multiple inputs. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say provisions. Okay, so let's say provision field, and we are going to write the name of the provision of Nepal. Okay, so I am from Nepal, so I'm going to provide the provisions of Nepal. So there is a provisions known as a Gandaki, and the second thing it is going to take it as Gandaki. Okay, so there are 7 provinces in Nepal. So let's say not provision, let's say province. Okay, province field, and the second thing it is going to be as Bagmati, and the next thing it will take it as Bagmati. Okay, So the next thing is a kernel, and it is going to be shown you as kernel. There are 7, so I'm going to pause this video and just do my. Okay, I have added the 7 province of Nepal. Okay, so from this province I want to make sure that the user can select the multiple province also. Okay, so what I'll do is, first of all, okay, let me go to the next one. So over here, what I'm going to provide over here is, let's say, province. Okay, in the province, let me add it as provision only. Okay, so I have done previously as a provision, so I'm going to write it as forms dot there is something known as multiple choice field. Okay, so the multiple choice field will take the choices as its first argument. Okay, so it is similar as we have done in the choice field only. Okay, so the choice is going to be the provision field. Okay, so I've written as province field. Okay, so province field, and then I'm going to provide it a new attribute, that's a widget is only always going to take forms dot, and this is going to take check box select multiple. Okay, so this is going to get this one. So if I go now over here and just to refresh, okay, so I need to run the server, so cho hi css. Okay, after this I think I need to stop the server and run the server again. Okay, after that, if I go over here and just refresh it, so I can select it from multiple ones. Okay, so I can select this one also, this one also, but if I want to provide the default in this gender, okay, so if I want to provide the default, then what I need to do is go over here and provide it as initial is equal to male. Okay, initial is equal to mean. Then if I go over here now, so if I do refresh now, the mail will be ticked. Okay, again it is showing me error. What's the error? Initial is equal to mail. So if I do close server again, and if I do run the server again, then it is showing me the problem again because I have written the name of the initials incorrectly. So if I write initial over here, just go over here, python manage.py run server. After that, if I now refresh it, so it is clicking me on the mail by default. Okay, so what should I do now is that if the user will fill up this form, okay, so when he or she hit this submit button, what this all these fields should be saved in my database. Okay, so let me do the work of the database. So the database work is done using models.py. Okay, so you previously know these things, so we'll go inside this models.py. In the models.py we're going to provide the, okay, so we are going to make the class as a student. It is going to inherit from models.model. That's right. So the name is going to be the models.character field, and the max length is going to be, let's say, you need to provide the max length in models.py, which you have not provided it in forms.py. You need to be careful over here. So the age is going to be the models.integer field. Okay, so after that, this is going to be the password, and the password is going to be the models.character field, and the max length is going to be, let's say, max length is going to be this one also on red. Okay, so after that we're going to, there's a gender, so that's going to be the mode start character field. That's going to be the max length of, let's say, 50. Okay, so after that we'll do the provision, and our modes dot character field, the max length is going to be 200. Okay, so after that, creating the model, you always do the two magical steps. Okay, so the two magical steps are make migration and then migrate. Okay, so if I do run server now, so over here what I need to do is python manage.py. Okay, py make migrations. Okay, so after doing my make migration, what you need to do is python manage.py migrate, which you know previously. Okay, so this is super duper easy. After that, what you need to do is, let me go into my views.py. okay, so all the things that is passed from the front end will go into this views.py, and over here you need to do a little bit of work. Okay, so in home.html, have we provided the method? No, so the method over here is going to be, let me grab this thing. So over here the method is going to be the post one. Okay, so to come inside over here request dot post. Okay, so after that what I need to do is just check whether the user have entered the fields correctly or not. In order to check that, Django already provide us with some inbuilt for validation. Okay, so valid, and the name is going to be, so after checking the validity, so it is going to come in the form of clean data. Okay, so clean data, and the first thing we have passed is name. Okay, so in general what we generally do was, right over here inside the input tag we will give the name is equal to something, and that thing was being passed. Okay, so this FormApi takes care of that, what is being passed over here. Okay, so whatever the name is in my at my front end. Okay, so this is name. Okay, so it is being passed as the, so here in the form this is name is. Okay, so in request.post it will come it as name is and all these things. Okay, so after this I'll give the is as form.cleaned data, and this is going to be this one, and in password uh, it is going to be form.cleaned data, and this next thing is going to be the gender. Okay, so the no, let make this as password. Okay, so after making this password there is also a gender form dot cleaned data, and it is going to come in as gender, and the last thing is going to be the provision, which you have anticipated, I guess, form dot clean data, and this is going to come in as provision. Okay, so let me check that over here. So it is provision only. Okay, so after it has got all this data, now what you need to do, you need to save it. Okay, so in order to save it we have seen the two methods, so I'm going to use the first one. So what we are going to do is student, and inside this student I need to import this student from model. Okay, from dot models import student. Okay, so after that we need to go inside this student and provide the name as name, age as age, password as password, gender as gender, and provision as provision. Okay, after doing this all these things you need to do save, and after doing this save we want to show the message. Okay, so the message is dot success. What I am going to show is request, and the message is going to be data sent successfully. Okay, after this what you need to do is you need to import these messages. This is a message framework. Okay, so from from Django dot contrib import, I think these messages over here. So we have imported now these messages. So over here now it is not showing me any error. Okay, so after showing that message, what I want to do, I want to redirect the user to the home. Okay, so there are no any pages in my website currently, so I want to take that user to home page after clicking that submit button. Okay, so that a redirect is present over here, so I'll do redirect. After that what I need to work on is my this message dot success part. Okay, so in order to work in message dot success part, what you need to do is go over here and inside this div, let me do it above. Okay, let me do over here. So let me say that if there is any messages, okay, if there is any messages to the for loop for message in messages, what you need to do is you need to import that code. Okay, so I am going to bring that code from bootstrap. Okay, so from the bootstrap type in alert. After this you will see something known as here guacamole. Okay, so over here, no, not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. So this one I'm going to bring it. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this code. Okay, this is holy guacamole. You check this one, you will find it. Okay, so after this what I'm going to do is, let me say holy guacamole. Okay, so I'm going to provide my message over here. Okay, so I think we have completely worked on this mess framework also. Okay, so now after this what you need to do is let me check this. Okay, whether the things are working clearly or not. Okay, so let me make the full name as, let's say, David Mela. Okay, so the age is, let's say, 23. The password I'm going to provide is, let's say, David Melan 123 mail, and I'll click on this provisions. Okay, so if I click on this submit button now, so I guess the site is not working. Sorry for that. Make migration, run server. Now I'll go over here, just refresh my code. So all the information are gone now. David Malon. So let me go over here. Is, let's say, to go. Let me provide the password. Let me check these provisions multiples. Okay, so if I click this submit button now, so it is showing me only guacamole data sent successfully. Okay, so I need to check it in my database also. So I'll go inside the database and I'll see this data is successfully coming in my database also. So up to now the things are working perfectly fine. Okay, after that, what you can just see over here is password is being sent over here in the text format. Okay, so this is undesirable. Okay, so we don't want our password to be exposed to the admin also. Okay, so we need to encrypt this password. So we are now going to encrypt that thing. So in order to encrypt that thing, I'm going to write some bit of code over here. So I go to the Visual Studio, go to the views.py, not views.py, inside models.py we want to make it encrypted. Okay, so in order to make it encrypt, what you need to do is, this is a inbuilt function, inbuilt method provided by the Django. Okay, so this is self and it will take two argument, arcs and quarks. Okay, and after that what you need to do is self dot name, and let's say I want to make the self dot name as, let's say I want to make all the things in uppercase. Okay, so I'm going to provide all the way in uppercase. So self dot password is going to be, let's say now here is slight bit of, so there is something known as make password. Okay, so this make password, and this is going to take self dot password. Okay, now what you need to do is import this make password. For that, what you need to do is go over here, and over here what you need to do is from Django.contrib .auth .hashers, you need to input make password. Okay, so now if we do this thing, then it will correctly store my password in the form of, now this has converted me my password into the hash. Okay, so for that to be saved in my that above this provision and gender this password. Okay, so in password what you need to do is just write super and then save. The save will take the two arguments, that is arcs and quarks. Okay, so after that what I need to do, after making any changes in the field in the models.py, you need to do that magical two steps, that is python manage.py make migrations, and the second thing is going to be manage.py just do migrate. Okay, so after that I'm going to do this is manage.py run server. Okay, after that I'm going over here, now I'm going to write the new, so let's say John Cena. Okay, I don't know how, let's say 45, and let's say GOHN, so at the rate 123. The password is going to be this, and I'm selecting the provinces, and I'm just going to hit the submit button. Okay, now if I go back to my database, now all the things must look nice. Okay, so now the password are stored in the form of hash, and we have also done that as upper. Okay, so it is saving the data in my database in the uppercase. Okay, I hope you understood up to this much. Now if we are going to move into the next thing, so we have already made our password encrypted. Okay, so now what you need to provide here over here, so in is, okay, so the people can also enter. So let me go to the is, and the people can also enter the is in the alphabetical order. Okay, so in order to prevent this, and they can also enter minus number. Okay, so minus 4 cannot be the is, so in order to restrict the user to enter some numbers in that range. Okay, so we'll do that thing. Okay, so the user can be only be between 0 to 100 or something like that. We need to do or let me go to this thing, and in my models.py I need to work it over here. Okay, so for that, not for that, for that is related to the front end, so I'll provide it in forms.py file. Okay, so there is something known as inbuilt thing that is known as clean. Okay, so the first thing is going to be the self, and let's say clean data is going to come from super dot clean, and after that the is going to be clean data dot, we need to get the is, so is, and now we need to check this is. Okay, so is going to be less than 1, or let's say is greater than 100, then just do self dot add error. Okay, so the error, and the first thing you need to show is and your age must be between 1 and 100. Okay, so after that what we will do is now go over here just to refresh. I guess I have not run my server over here now, so it is working. So let me go back now, let me do Ctrl Shift R. So over here, if I provide the name as, let's say, Kamala, and let's say the age as 1223. Okay, so this is not the valid is. Okay, so it should show me the error. Okay, so if I do submit, if I do the submit, okay, so it is, if I do now submit, so it is not saving that data. Okay, so it is not showing me the error. I don't know why it is not showing me that error. So but the data is not being saved over here. Okay, so that is important. So if I do refresh, so the data is not coming over here. Okay, so in order to put that data inside my database, what I just need to do is put over here and just do submit. Okay, so after if I satisfy that conditions only, then only it will, that thing will be passed to my views.py. Okay, so after in that views.py we save the data and we show the user that your data has been successfully saved. Okay, so up to now we have seen models.api. Okay, so we have seen how to create the form and how to get the data from the user and how to store that back in my database. Okay, so up to now, so we will end our session over here. Okay, so in the next class we'll use the meta. Okay, so meta class in order to explore the more functionalities of FormApi, and we are also going to see about the ModelApi also in the next video. Okay, so till that time, have a nice day, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel.